Good morning. It is Wednesday already. This week's kind of gone quickly for me. We are the Resell Revenue Facebook group, and we meet Mondays through Thursdays at 8 a.m. Central Time. And we discuss all different kinds of reselling topics. And we try to have a topic set out the week before so that you know what to prepare for and what calls you might want to attend. Today, we're going to discuss one of our steps on our 10 steps to crushing it for the rest of 2024. So I decided to pick the one about the goals for the rest of the year because I think if we set out our goals for the rest of 2024, it'll give us a good roadmap on how to do the rest of the things on that list. So if you missed the conversation about the list, it is in the featured post of the Facebook group. And we can also go through that. I'll need to pull it up on a different device here because I cannot minimize my screen when I'm sharing it. But the 10 rules, or not rules, but the 10 things that we can do before the end of the year to really finish out strong and start 2025 off on the best foot we possibly can is to set the goals for the rest of 2024. Let's do some solid, attainable goals that we can check mark off as we, hit them out of the ballpark and get them done and see what we're accomplishing. And then we can re-review them when we hit 2025. Metrics, set them. Lower net profit per item, sell-through rate, whatever your metrics are, how you're gonna source. There's about a million different things we can do for our metrics. And if we don't have them set, how are we able to follow them and be disciplined with them if we don't have them set? So the first step is to set them. Pricing, let's correct those old prices. Let's get things according to how long they've been listed. Make yourself those pricing rules. Current inventory, take a complete inventory compared to listings active on your selling platforms. If you don't have a SKU system, you don't have an inventory system, I recommend that would be a great time to implement one. Unlisted inventory, how many days of inventory do we have? Let's answer all that in 2025. I want by the first of the year, there's no reason why every single person in here should not be able to say I have this many days of inventory in my queue. No reason. So let's try to do that. Let's get rid of the non-metric meeting items in our store, out of the store. So let's create a plan for that. How do we get rid of our undesirable items? Aged inventory markdown. What's your sell-through rate? What's your desired sell-through rate? And how are we going to get there? Let's implement a plan on making that happen. Let's get our business policies and account preferences to date. So let's go through each and every one of them. And then let's make sure we understand what they are. I think we get clicking buttons and sometimes we don't always know why we're clicking the buttons. Let's understand why we have certain things set the way that they are. Bookkeeping, do you have a system in place? Are you up to date? If you're not, this would be a great time to start one so that you can get used to it before 2025 happens, because then you'll have the whole year done next year and won't even have to think about it. I think it's great when we start new years off by saying, oh, I'm going to implement this, I'm going to implement that. But if we do it now, think how far ahead we'll be. Offers, coupons, promoted listings. Let's make ourselves rules on how we handle them. Then we don't even have to think about them. We're not mad by lowball offers. We're not bothered by, low offers because we have a plan in place. We're ready to tackle those. We know how we're going to respond before we even get the offer. Super freeing. Don't even have to think about it. Don't have to work on it. Then promoted listing campaign. A lot of people just click the suggested rate or the suggested ad rate time something. And we don't even know why or how it works or what we're doing. So let's just make sure we understand it. No matter what you decide to do on it, it's fine. But make sure you understand why you're giving them that money and how much you're going to give them. Because if we don't understand, then we can't necessarily make good choices for ourselves in it. And then last but not least is 2025 goals. What's our net profit goal? What's our net profit overall? What's our net profit per item? Do we have a cost of goods sold maybe goal? Do we have, let's break down our number goals and then work it backwards so that we can make a plan that actually can work. I don't love goals set like I'm going to make $100,000 next year. Awesome. How are we going to get there? Do you have any idea? No? Well, then we need to work backwards. So if we work backwards from the goal, then we can make a solid plan in place so we can actually attain that goal. So today we're going to talk about the 2024 goals. It may seem like 2024 is almost over. Let's just finish it. Let's just do the best we can, get in, get out, be done with it, start a new year. I'll make all these great promises to myself next year. That's what New Year's are for, is to make these goals. Why are we doing this now? We're doing this now because we're going to finish out this year amazing. This whole group's going to be elevated by the end of the year. We're going to go into the new year stronger than ever, so we can 2025 won't be an accident if it's our best year ever. It's going to be a planned best year ever. There's no reason why we can't do this. I believe in every single one of you guys can do this. If we hit a step that you're like, I don't know how to handle this, I don't know, you don't delve into it quite as much as you do on one of the other ones because you're just not sure, reach out. There's people in here that will absolutely help you understand what metric maybe you're supposed to meet or what, because each of these things I believe are going to be catered to our individual businesses. So I can't come to you and say, this is what your metric should be. This is what your net profit should be. We are all different people. We all have different schedules. We all have different goals. But if you reach out and you let people know, hey, this is what I'm trying to do, there are lots of people in here that will help you get there. And I will help you get there. So the only way we can't help you make this work is if you sit there and don't know and don't ask questions. That's the only way this doesn't work. So make sure you're asking questions. There's great people in this group that are willing to help you. So and me too, I'm willing to help you. So I want this to go off amazing. One thing is we can't make unattainable goals, right? It'd be really, depending on what your niche is, I guess, unattainable to say, I'm going to net $100,000 this year and you're only at like 25 now. So that's probably not attainable. I want you to have solid goals for the end of the year that you can explain and that you can tell me how you're going to work it. Does it mean each and every one of us are going to blow them out of here? No. Sometimes we're going to miss it. Sometimes we're going to fall short, and that's okay. But to have that goal is just something to work towards. I like visuals with my goals. So if I'm going to try to meet certain, like, let's say I want to net profit X dollars between now and the end of the year. I'm going to make myself a little chart that maybe I can X off or color in the bar every time I hit certain metrics of it. So that then when I know when I hit that bar's full, that means I made it. And I feel like visuals are really good ways to have indicators for ourselves. And I believe that visuals are just a good motivator. Like, I mean, I feel like a little kid like that. I like scratching off my progress and I like seeing where I'm at. I know some people use brand names, bingo lists and stuff that they make like lists of brands they've never seen or never gotten and that they want. And then they X them off when they find them. I think that's great. It's just a visual aid in our achievements. So absolutely make yourself a graph, make yourself whatever, like little dollar signs that you're scratching off as you hit them. Sometimes we can think outside of the box about goals that are important to us that we could meet. Yeah, I totally agree. So Harry says goals should be reachable with stretch. Totally good. So I don't want to make a goal that I know I'm going to hit, which sounds kind of silly, but if I know I'm going to hit it, it doesn't really make me have to work for it. But if I set goals that I know I can reach plus like 10%, 15%, 20%, then that makes me have to reach for it. Makes me have to do that little extra to push myself outside of my comfort zone. So these should be a little bit outside of your comfort zone, a little bit outside of what you already do, so that it makes you have to work for it. Because then when you get it and you make it, I feel like you're gonna be so much happier with your, so much more accomplished when you get this done. So let's make those within our reach, but make us have to work for it. It doesn't have to be X amount of dollars. It could be, I'm going to have my new inventory system in place by 2025. I'm going to have no death pile. Now, if you have 2 years of death pile sitting in front of you, that might not be attainable, but maybe it is. Maybe you're starting over. So let's make these so that we can achieve them. It could be, I'm going to list X amount of items by 2025. That's totally doable. Just make sure it's, if my listing goal is 25 a day, I'm not going to have my goal be what 25 a day is. I might have it be 27 a day, and that's that little extra boost, or 30 a day. And I'm going to scratch off, maybe I make, ever how many days are left in this year, and I make a little box, or whatever, and I scratch it off every time I get that done and work towards that goal. Maybe it could be as much as I'm going to try a new sourcing method or a new sourcing store once a week, once every 2 weeks, whatever it is. I'm going to send a coupon every day. I'm going to send a newsletter every day. I'm going to redo my descriptions so that they all are uniform and make sense. It could be I want my profit margin increased by a certain percent. That's a very good one, because the larger those profit margins are, the bigger that spread is, the easier our business becomes. Maybe we do something like I want 100 more followers by the end of the year, but then I want to know, how are you going to get those? My answer to that one would be ask for them. Are you asking every single person that you have contact with that is a customer to please follow my store? Click that heart by my name. Are we asking for them? So not only are we going to set this goal, we're going to set how are we going to get there. Has anybody worked on this yet? Has anybody been setting their goals to work on to get to the end of 2024?
Yeah, I have.
Perfect,
I have a
Larry.
little bit.
Yeah. One of you gentlemen go.
Go on, Larry. What are you looking for there? Just what the goals are?
Yeah, if you want to share your goal or how you thought about making your goals, or
Yeah, so I just sat down a couple nights ago with your list, and for me, I kind of transformed it to things that I know I have easy access to as far as the metrics go. I didn't want to create too much work for myself as far as some obscure measures. Um, Oddly enough, my number one goal is to work less than 30 hours a week. Number one. Okay, so if I can fit everything else that I'm about to say into that, I'm doing great, right? So it's going to force me to be much more efficient. It's going to force me to be much more have higher average sales prices, etc. My goal is last year was 4,000 a month take home, and that's net, not eBay net. And I'm right now I'm at around 3,400. I didn't quite make it, but I've still got a month and a half, 2 months. I'm going to bump that up to 5K next year. And I've got a couple of sub goals to support that. One of which is a goal on my eBay net, which is that blue number that's easy to get at, and my actual everything spend budget. So in order to get 5K a month, I took a wet finger in the air and said that means I need 8K of eBay net and not to exceed 3K of spending. Right. So easy numbers for me to get at. And then listing goal right now, my goal of the last couple weeks was 7. I've bumped it to 10 just because I have the inventory and the time is less of an issue. By the end of next year, I'm hoping to get to 12. Not too much of a stretch, but again, my bigger goal is to make all this fit into 30 hours, right? So it's going to be a juggle. 4 new sourcing business contacts a month. Initially, I put it down as once a week, but you know how things go. I'll probably knock out 2 or 3 of them in one day, but anyway, at least 2 weeks of inventory on hand. This one, I don't know how valuable it's going to be. I suspect it's a sub tertiary kind of goal, which is a sell through rate of 90 days. I don't really know what knobs I have yet to deal with that, and I may not even get to those because anyway, those will help drive the other. And then I have the list of metrics that I would need to capture in order to be able to report those to myself. One of my metrics that I put down was the number of goals that I missed for that given period. If I had a goal of 10 per day or 12 per day, how many weeks did I make or miss those goals? So
good.
That's my planning.
And I suggest that we write these all down. I have a notebook I set aside, just like I recommended you guys, and as I'm brainstorming with this list, as I'm going through it, I'm writing it down. I think when we write things down, we remember them better. It makes them more real, makes them, you know, easier to, or you could do a fancy Larry sheet,
Yep.
which is very good. It's
I
visual,
have this,
right?
I've had two of these now that I've done since I started about a year and a half ago. And so I try to date them and review them every once in a while too. But I've got other things going on for the different 10 items that you put down.
Hmm. Excellent.
But anyway, these are my goals.
Yep, that's excellent. So I just scratch mine down, but you can do it that way if that's a good way for you to learn. If I stick mine in a computer list somewhere, I'm not going to look at it again, and then it seems less, I don't know. I've always been a pen and paper, but whatever works for you. And like, so Larry's goal of working 30 hours or less a week, that is a very good goal because that fits his business plan. We talk about business plans a lot. Do you even have a business plan? Or are we just kind of doing this day to day, hoping for the best? If you don't have a business plan, that'd be a good place to start. And I think setting up the things on this list will get you a good chunk of your business plan done if you actually follow through with each step. So, Harry, what did you have?
Okay, well, mine's not as fleshed out as Larry's yet, but I'm working that way. So my by the end of the year, I'd like to get my sales, my deposits actually up to 1,100 a week. I was averaging 1,000 a week back in the spring, and everything's kind of crashed. I'm like at 700 now, so I don't like that. I want to get back to 1,100. Partially it's inconsistency, partially it's who knows. I don't know. My listing goal, I want to get up to 10 a day, 8 closed, 1 music, and 1 purse. I want to make sure all my UPS packages are at the mailbox before our call, because our mailman might be here at 9 a.m. He might be here at 7 o'clock in the evening. Who knows? I don't understand how they work. I want to have 2 weeks of inventory listed. Uh, it's My life is all up and down and in and out, so that buffer is important to me. I want to have an week of inventory in queue. Your percent growth, I didn't quite understand what you wanted, what you were saying, percent growth in what? So
These
I
are
haven't,
just ideas. So if you want, if you,
right,
some people like to work in percentages versus dollar amounts. So if you wanted to say, hey, I would like my net profit to go up 10%, like some kind of growth.
yeah, yeah, I don't want to do that. Track it. I want all my bookkeeping numbers updated before the accountability call. So I'm tracking more than just what we do, but that's a good time to make sure everything's right. And that's as far as I've gotten so far. I've got other ideas, but I haven't written them down.
Well, you're in the process. So I only thing I'm going to try to avoid with this, and I'm going to poke everybody just a little bit, is sometimes people come out hot on things and they're excited to get things done and then kind of just wane. And I really want you guys to see these things through. So, like Harry may not have all these things, that's fine. Totally fine. He started the process. To start the process, get it written down, and then each week just make this a part of your routine that you're actively thinking about one. You don't have to think about the whole picture of all the list because that's not doable for most of us. Most of us are busy. We have things going on. But if you have one thing a week that you're just want your brain to turn on, and I do believe in when I hear other resellers and coaches and stuff talk about how, we don't always give ourselves enough between the ear times. I totally believe that. Like it was kind of a game changer for me when I started giving myself and allowing myself that time to just think. So often we have things in the background. We have this going on, we have that going on, and we don't sit time and just think. But once you start doing that and you give yourself that leeway, you give yourself that time, if you already have whatever we're working on that week, whatever thing you've decided that that's what you're going to work on from that list this week, it'll just kind of keep mulling in your head a little bit. It'll just keep coming up. So, we have to plant that seed, so to speak, and just chew on it for the week and see what we come up with. Anybody else working on it or thinking about it or want to think about it out loud?
Carrie, was there a list that we were supposed to go by?
Yep, it's in the featured post on the Facebook group.
Well, I missed that. So let me just tell you, just from what you all said this morning, what I'm going to do.
No
I've been
problem.
over this in my mind for weeks on weeks on weeks. And one thing that I know I am going to do before the end of the year is take out some furniture that I'm no longer using in the room where I have my work. And I'm going to put some of my racks in here and put my bins on racks so that I don't have to pick up 5 to get to 1. It's taken me too much time and too much stress on my back. So that I know for sure I'm going to do before the end of the year. Before you even mentioned all this, I had said to myself over the year that I was going to increase what I've done from last year, which I've done. And I don't think I'm going to make it to where I wanted to make it, but I don't care, because if I make that big goal of rearranging everything, then I know I'm going to have a lot more time. Number 2, I am definitely going to work out, because at my age, I know that I have to keep up my muscle mass and my strength. And I know that I'm not doing that as much as I should. So that's going to be one of my goals. And then I definitely want to learn how to put my numbers in the spreadsheet. I keep saying I'm going to do it. I haven't done it. So I need to go back and try to find that one that you did before and sit down with both my computers on and work my way through it. And I know if I do it once, that I'll be able to follow it through every month. So that's what I'd like to be able to do.
Everybody, no, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I'd like to say I'd list so many a day and I keep track. I had worked up to 10, then I go back to 8, then I do 5. You know what? I'm not going to stress myself out about how many I have each day. It's not, to me, it's not like, I'm not going to sleep if I don't have it. And I know a lot of people have that, they have to have that done, but I've given up on that. I'm just not in that frame of mind, and I'm not going to do it. So if I at least put something up, even if I don't put anything up, I just want to be able to move things along and make the sales that I can and do the best that I can. And then I'll get more of those. I'll go down that list and see what else I can come up with.
I think that's excellent. And I think I would love for your 2025 goals to include something about maybe you working less, or you need in my opinion, working with you the way I do, I would like to see you make sure that you pencil in some Suzanne time and some reward time for yourself in your retirement and get to enjoy yourself more.
Yes, I'm definitely going to do that. So that's a good thing to write it down.
Yeah, because that's very important. And if there's no reward to what we're doing here, guys, whether it's monetary or happiness or whatever it is we're looking for, like, why are we doing it? So we need to make sure that we are, whatever is important to us at our time in life that we're at now. Like right now, I'm kind of in a work mode age, there's nobody depending on me for life day to day. So I have more time. I have more focus I can give it. But, 10 years ago when I had small children, that's not how my life works. So we're all in different stages, and that's okay. That's why I just really shy away from giving cookie cutter advice to people, because we're all different. Our businesses are different. So we just need to work with what we have and where we're at. So, but I would like to see Suzanne enjoy yourself.
Thank you. I'm going to.
You deserve
Thanks
it.
to this group.
You deserve it. So, anybody else want to share what they've done or what they're going to do for the rest of the year to make it great? I'm going to have a savings goal. Yeah, go ahead. You're fine.
I was gonna say, I only have one kind of main goal right now. I'll get others. But the one that I've decided on is through November and December, like total for both months, I want to list 305 items. And that's 5 a day. And I always say why that's important to me is because I always say I want my listing goal to be 5 a day, but in reality, it's not 5 a day. I think there's maybe 1 month out of all we've had so far that I've actually hit 5 a day. And I want to grow in 2025, which means I'd like to list maybe 6 a day or even 7 a day. But if I'm not even doing 5 a day, I can't grow, and I can't keep telling myself that I'm a 5 a day lister when I'm really a 3 to 4 a day lister because of all the other things that come up in the months. And I think that November and December is going to be a particularly good test of this for me because I have travel, I have holidays,
Mhm.
you know, there will be other things come up. And you know what, one of the things I think that's important in setting goals is that to know that you can and that you will meet that goal even when it's a bad month. And
Mhm.
that's what trips me up is I can be a 5 a day lister as long as everything else in my life is going perfectly, including all my family stuff, my other job, my personal stuff, my dogs, you know, my travel, whatever it is yeah, I can be a 5 a day lister as long as everything else is perfect. But the reality is that there are very few months, there are very few weeks where everything is perfect. And so
Right.
that's the challenge for me, is to really be a 5 a day lister no matter what else goes on.
And
And
that's
that'll
what
be
that's the same as when we base our finances based on our worst months. Our worst months, not the best
exactly,
months, the worst months.
exactly.
And
Yeah.
that's kind of how goals should work a little bit too, plus a little push.
Mhm.
Because that's really insightful that like, you know, like I'm not a 5 a day consistent lister. So
Mhm.
it would be really silly for you to say, well, now I'm a 10 a day lister. Right.
Right, exactly.
And
Or even a
things
6 a
go
day list.
backwards in a
Yeah.
hurry when you increase your listings. I mean,
Mhm. Yeah.
it was a stretch for me for sure when I increased it, and I struggled for a while. And then everything else snowballs with it: more shipping, more customer service, more returns, more. It just
Right.
kind of keeps going.
Everything.
So
Yep.
I really like that you're easy into that because. And yesterday, I don't know if you heard me, but your hair is super cute and very. Your
Oh,
hair's
thank
your new haircut is very, very young looking and very
thank
cute.
you. Thank you. I'm on day 3 now. So, you know, I'm gonna have to, I think I said yesterday,
It is super
and then
cute.
now I've got my glasses up all over it. But
It is
you
very
know,
cute.
the hairdresser actually did it on Monday. So this is the last day that it will look like this
Oh,
because
well,
I don't actually blow dry my hair and do all the twirly
yeah, me
things with
either.
it.
Yeah, no,
But yeah,
me either. It's cute. Kevin, what are you doing?
This is gonna be. I'm gonna have to think about a lot of them, but one thing I'm gonna do that's gonna shock you. But I'm gonna stop complaining about Chris's group. I'm just gonna leave him alone. Unsubscribe to his channel and just kind of move on. Stop being annoyed.
Well, that's a good goal, I guess. We negativity doesn't help us at all anyway. Focus on the awesome stuff we're doing moving forward. And we're glad you're here to be positive with us, Kevin. I thought you were gonna say like some amazing bookkeeping goal or something, and I was gonna be like, Kevin, you're just killing it over there.
Okay, well, I am considering fire. Well, I'm not firing them because they're really nice, but not continuing next year. Um, because I'd like to keep that $200 a month. Um,
And you can. Like you're capable. You're there. Like you're not one I worry about doing that. You'd be fine.
yeah.
You're good. I on Harry's note of yes, we have a great group here. We absolutely do. I've been seeing more and more new people be active in the posts. Like they're commenting on posts, they are making posts. And since in this call in the mornings, we do have more of the same like foundational people that have always kind of been together. Let's make sure we and most of you guys do a great job with it, but let's make an effort to encourage those people that are interacting. This week has been a great week for me as far as the group. Maybe we don't see it on numbers in the morning call, so to speak, sometimes. However, I've been getting messages from people that I've never chatted with before that have said, hey, I went back and watched all the videos, and you guys, I've learned so much just from the videos you have up already, and that they've had some positive experiences with other people in the group, reaching out to them or helping them. And they're like, the biggest take back I get from the feedback I've been getting is that they feel like this is like an intimate type group, like where people like know each other's names, we know what we sell, and the people are not, which I think this was great feedback for me to hear. The people are not excluding the new people, which I love to hear that. But there are a handful of new people that have been pretty active reaching out to me, and are really trying to make themselves like a community home in here. And the morning call is hard for some people to get to, but there's people watching it. There's people posting about it. There's people messaging me about it. So there's been more of that interaction this week than there ever has been, which makes me feel really good about all of us and what we're doing here, that we're getting some new people in here that feel really comfortable and are really looking for some reselling guidance. So don't be afraid if you guys have been, around for a while, or even if you haven't, don't be afraid to put those posts up. You're thinking about something about reselling or something with eBay or something during the day, throw it up on the Facebook group. Give us what you're thinking about, because if you're thinking about it, so is everybody else. So is at least a handful of people. Get that interaction going. Trying to make a goal maybe to, if you guys could put like, hey, I want to put 2 posts a week in the Facebook group for people to think about or something, and just be helpful. And it could be about your niche, because we don't know what other niches people are in. Somebody may be like, wow, I've never seen somebody that sells this like I do, we're an everything type niche group, and I want that to reflect well in the Facebook group. And I'm only really great with jewelry in that. I'm very supportive with all other aspects of it, but I'm only really, kind of amazing in that area. So I know we have a lot of people here, all different levels. Don't be afraid to put up something, even if you feel like you're at a more beginner level. That's awesome. Like, we need all of that. So put those posts up, get that interaction up, make sure we're pulling in those new people, which you guys do a great job at. But I was very motivated this week to hear. I've just been hearing more and more from people that I've never heard of before, and they're giving me great feedback. So I really love that. I'm still trying to pull people into the morning call, but in all actuality, yes, it's nice to see the numbers of the morning call. And we go from, anywhere from, 10, 13 to 20. We've been hitting 20 often, which is great. But as long as people are interacting with it, and they're watching it, and they're learning from it, and they're staying around, that's really our main goal. So just thank you guys for all being there. Today's my last day before I leave on vacation. So I appreciate everybody that signed up to help me out and is covering for me. So the calls will go on as scheduled, because everybody's amazing and filling in for me while I'm gone. So if you need any help, there's lots of people still in here, even if I'm gone, and I'll still be checking on Facebook and stuff. So I appreciate that. And I'm going to end the recording now, but if anybody wants to join, it's Reseller Revenue Facebook group. Really good group of people here, all just trying to help each other out, get through our day-to-day reselling world.